Keith.
Harry.
I'm a bit disorientated because I didn't have a clue where I was coming and I thought I was going to end up in some kind of army barracks, and this is so far removed from that.
Yes, you're in lovely sort of traditional agricultural estate, but of course extremely good cover for what was going on here during World War II.
Can we have a look around?
Of course.
The men were billeted in the stables of the country house and intensively trained in fighting, explosives, concealment and sabotage. Units were shown how to build an underground operational base, or OB. This is where they would hide out once the Nazis came.
What have we got here, Keith?
Well, Harry, see this little strange structure here?
Yeah.
It's where a tree was set in concrete. A hollow tree trunk was set there, and then the chimney from the cooker that's beneath our feet went up and took all the smoke and fumes up into the canopy of the wood.
So the OB is right underneath us,
Right
is it?
underneath our feet. This is the entrance shaft. This would have been totally hidden. We've made this more secure. But the original hatch would have been flush with the ground. We'll get this lifted off.
Well, that goes down a long way. How deep is it? Because it's so dark.
It's about 12 foot, I think, from down top to bottom there.
Well, it looks even deeper because it's pitch black.
Pitch black, yeah. And this is the original ground level. This is where the hatch would have been with a counterweight and pulley system, so it would move, glide aside, open and close very, very easily, so you could literally just disappear, close it up, nothing to show on the surface.
You just never know what's under your feet.
No.
Is there any way we can go down there?
Well, I don't think we'll trust the ladder now, Harry. It's too old, but there is across this way. We can go in through the other way.
Okay.
It's estimated 1,000 operational bases may have been built. But the auxiliaries kept them secret even after the war, and most have never been found. This one at Coleshill was only rediscovered a few years ago.
It's dark, isn't it? You need a torch from here on. It really is sort of well preserved.
It's very dry.
Extraordinary, isn't it? Here we've got a blast wall. You saw the entrance shaft with the ladder, and this is where you'd have to squeeze round if you wanted sort of to get into the OB. If you're a trooper or something, you'd have to take some of your kit off. If the OB was discovered, the first thing that would happen is a grenade would be dropped down the shaft. So this at least would save you from the percussion of that and the shrapnel. Just see the outline of some shelves, and that's where a little table stood. And that goes up to our hollow tree that we looked at on the surface. That's the chimney from the cooker.
The flue.
So, very clever feature.
And how long could they have stayed down here for?
Well, they probably had about a fortnight's rations here. It's why it was so good to have people that knew the countryside well and perhaps live off the land, so farmers and gamekeepers and people that could fend for themselves, within the area.
What's that there?
That's the remains of one of the beds.
And we can only imagine what would have been going on down here, because we'd have been invaded and they'd have been living under here, going up on operations, not knowing what had happened to the country, their families, It would have been a really, precarious situation. What was their life expectancy?
Well, the life expectancy was 10 days. It does take an extraordinary sort of courage, really, to up sticks, to walk out on your hearth and home, walk out without any warning and disappear. And of course, while you were here and doing what you were commanded to do, worrying all the time about what was happening to your family on the surface. And there would have been the most awful reprisals once they'd started causing the destruction and mayhem that they were trained to do.
Yeah, extraordinary people.
Aux unit members feared their lives cut short if Hitler invaded.